Why do I need to know if an Ashe Juniper is a male or a female? Well, you don't really, unless you're into gardening or farming or whatever. I'll tell you why. From a land management perspective, in this part of Texas, there's a common myth that they are not native. It's just a myth. They are native. As a matter of fact, they're essential. This particular tree, you can't really get a scale, probably on camera, is over 1 foot in diameter. Anything over 1 foot in diameter is probably about 50 years old or older. And I would put that as an old growth Ashe Juniper, which is used by various species. It's essential to one that's endangered. This particular individual is a male tree. And if you look at the canopy, you probably already caught it coming up. But it is not something that looks like it's very healthy. I've been pruning it out. So carefully over years, actually, to get it to stay alive but become a smaller specimen in terms of its height. So then maybe this tree behind it, if you zoom in right here, this larger tree behind it, is I got multiple trees right there, this fat trunk right there, that's a female. I'm going to let her overtake him before I finally take him out and use him for timber, lumber. Reduce the cedar trees on your land to increase the water that they reduce the amount of water they take out of your landscape, but having them also can introduce water into your landscape. They, on the side of a hill like that, they can stop water flow, they can slow it down. Their stems, their trunks rather, their roots can help water find pathways into the soil to permeate deeper. So really, instead of eradicating them, you should manage them. And the reason why I advocate maybe dwarfing the male cedars if they are old growth, or eliminating them altogether if they're not old growth, is that it doesn't take very many male cedars to pollinate your females if you want to have new cedars grow. And about 80% of people are highly allergic to them. Between late November and late February, a lot of people have allergy problems, and it's usually caused by that. So on your own property, reducing the amount of pollen, reducing the amount of trees that are drawing water out unnecessarily, thinning them out. If you do it intelligently, the female trees provide the food that birds and wildlife eat, not the male trees. So the male trees do provide a lot of leaf litter, which helps convert the soil, and in many parts of Texas the soil is so degraded that it looks very different from what it used to. These trees are just factories for converting dilapidated soils into something useful. So, highly advise caution before you just go stripping them out. What I do with my male trees once I dwarf them is I just keep them. Here's one I've successfully reduced in size from being much larger. It's like a large bonsai. So you see here's an old trunk that used to take the tree about 14 foot, but now it's about my height, about 5.5 feet. So twice a year or so I get to trim this guy, prune this guy into a certain shape, and then all of the green leaves, which I just did some, I can use as mulch, which I'm trying to be a self-sufficient permaculture farm. I'm trying to bring in as few outside energy inputs as I can, outside composting material, outside mulch, whatnot. Trying to produce everything in what I have. So that kind of practice is absolutely essential if I want to be as self-sufficient as I can. Maybe one day I'll have more to blather on about with regard to the magnificent Ashe Juniper. but not today. Oh, God, I'm freezing.